Hello, number ones. Welcome to Metatrons Academy. So, let me show you something. If you type the question, how hard is it to learn Chinese, you get a few videos. Now, of course, we're getting Ollie Richards, possibly because he's a channel that I normally watch, so my algorithm is kind of skewed towards showing me his content first. But look at the second video here. It says, learning Chinese is not as hard as you think. 758,000 views. Now, given this is from 3 years ago, so let's not, we're going to watch it now because I want to see what all the hype is all about, and just to make sure that the information is correct. Of course, she is Chinese, clearly, so obviously she's going to know what she's talking about. But when it comes to hardship, then it's a matter of language learning. So of course, if you're speaking about Mandarin proper, then the facts about the language are most likely going to be correct because she's a native. Not always the case, by the way, but if you have a whole Mandarin Chinese learning channel, I imagine you're a Lao Shi, you're a teacher, so I would so I'm expecting everything linguistic to be correct. But when it comes to language learning methodology, I've seen a lot of language teachers that don't have a clue what they're talking about. So I'm curious to see. Don't judge her content, though, by what she did 3 years ago. So maybe we might actually check out one of her more recent videos. But with that being said, let's have a look.
How hard is learning Chinese? In this video, I want to challenge the common belief and show you why Chinese is not the hardest language in the world.
All right, because I thought at first she was going to say why Chinese is not hard. But then again, hard and easy are very relative adjectives, and depends, like, are you someone who already speaks 3 languages? Are you someone who already speaks an Asian language and already knows a lot of characters? Are you someone who, for instance, has had musical training? That does help a lot with tones. So difficulty, there is an objective layer to it, but then there is a subjective layer to it, which definitely overrides the first. It's more important, in fact, classifying or defining whether or not a language is hard or easy. But she went the easy, safe route, and she said it's not the hardest language in the world. Fine, yeah, I wouldn't have classified it as that, so that's correct.
With 10 facts about Mandarin Chinese. 大家好，我是玲珑老师. Hello everyone, I'm
I just said hello everyone right back, I don't know why.
your Chinese teacher, Ling Long. No matter if you're new or experienced in Chinese learning, I promise by the end of the video, you'll understand how Chinese language works so much better.
Sounds good.
Fact number 1.
The editing with the little sound effects, which I personally don't like, but then again, maybe it's her style, maybe it was her style and it's not anymore. I'm not going to judge it too much over it, but it does feel very 2015. Is it just me?
Chinese have limited number of sounds, which means you'll be able to learn and master all the Chinese sounds within a short amount of time.
Okay, well, yeah, I mean, I'll try not to interrupt it too much, but if you want some pedantry, and I mean, be honest, that's why you clicked, all languages have a limited amount of sounds, but I know what she means. She means there aren't that many. Fine.
To understand this better, I'll quickly go over 2 basic concepts, character and pinyin. These cool and mysterious looking scripts are called characters. It's how we normally read and write.
Yes.
But for beginners, it is impossible to know how a word is pronounced just by looking at characters. And that's why we have Pinyin. Yes. Pinyin literally means spell sounds. It's a romanization system designed to help people pronounce Chinese words. While it takes longer to learn characters, Pinyin is relatively easy to master. Yeah. And as soon as you know Pinyin, you can read everything in Chinese.
I love that she's very positive. I think that helps a lot of people. Can you learn to pronounce everything in Chinese with Pinyin? Yeah, because you also have the tones. Now, getting the tones right it's another layer of complexity. So there's that. And yes, I have seen students that can read Pinyin, but their tones are terrible.
I mean, everything. And by the way, Pinyin wouldn't even look foreign to you because it shares the same alphabet as English with an additional yu sound. Back to Chinese pronunciation. In Chinese, each character is 1 syllable.
Yeah, that's a nice
and this is what a typical Chinese syllable looks like.
Whoa.
Consonant plus vowel or other ending plus tone. As we know, there's a limited number of consonants. And a limited number of vowels. What does it mean? Yes, a limited number of sounds. This pinyin chart you're looking at right now literally contains all Chinese sounds.
You know, I actually always hated those charts. I don't know what it is. Because of course I've got them. I got them. It's just right there, and I swear it's on the chair right there. Because I've been brushing up my Mandarin. Of course, these charts are all over the place, plastered in Chinese learning manuals. Yeah, I don't know. I've never been a huge fan of just the charts like that, but it's just me.
I mean, if you mastered the sounds in this chart,
400,
you would be
yeah.
able to read anything in Chinese. And I can tell you from experience that anyone can learn to read Pinyin in less than 1 month because all of my
Yes, but sure. I mean, I won't. You know me when it comes to like over-promising. She's not. She's been careful. She's been safe with her statement. Can you learn in less than a month to read Pinyin? Yeah. How well will you read it though? With all the like, was considering the how tones modulate. Yeah, probably you're gonna need longer than a month. But she's correct. You can learn out the single sounds. It's fine.
students have successfully done so.
Cool.
Fact number 2.
Yeah, let's
now
go.
you might have heard Chinese is very hard because of the tones and characters.
Yeah.
Let's address the elephant in the room right now. Yes, tones are hard, but guess what? You already have the skills to master them. First, you need to understand tones are just changes of pitch.
Yeah.
Nothing special, really. Your language might not have tones on every syllable, but it definitely has intonation, aka changes of pitch. For example,
My intonation is all over the place in any language I speak.
when you raise your pitch to show confusion, huh? That's the second tone.
True.
When you reject something with a falling pitch.
No! No! No!
I see why the video is popular though. It's really fun. She's right. Sure.
No, that's the fourth tone.
tone, yeah.
See, you're already doing it without noticing.
That's true, yeah.
Mandarin Chinese has 4 different tones, and I've made a series to help you master them. Make sure to check them out if you want to learn more about tones.
I'm actually interested to see if she's actually teaching the real third tone. I imagine she looks proficient. Or if she's teaching the academic third tone, which to me is a complete waste of time.
Fact number 3.
Yeah.
Chinese characters are not random images. Sure, when you
Random,
don't
of
know
course, yeah.
Chinese, the characters might look random and arbitrary. But once you get to know them, you'll find characters actually make a lot of sense. Imagine characters as Legos. We put different parts together
Nice
to
analogy.
build something bigger. And these parts are not random. They actually carry the meaning or sound
They're called radicals.
of a word. And there are some basic building components which you'll see very often. For example, can you find the common component in these characters?
Yeah, of course, it's a little mouth, call.
Yes, they all share the common component, 口, which means mouth. And guess what these characters mean?
吃喝
吃 to eat,
Cool,
喝 to drink, 叫 to call, and 唱 to sing. All of them are actions to do with the mouth. Now, I'll have to admit, when you first start learning Chinese characters, they can be a little challenging.
A little intimidating as well. But then again, fascinating as well. When I started learning both Japanese and Chinese, I loved it. I was fascinated by it. Now, given when you have to take a test, it is what it is. But that's when I think they become a little intimidating, depending on how much time you've got to dedicate to them. But in general, I would say my preferred adjective, personally, as someone who spent a lot of years with Mandarin and Japanese, is fascinating. I find them intriguing, if anything. And I love the challenge.
We as kids also had to write them over and over again until they stick in the memory. But the good news is, the more words you know, the easier it
True.
gets.
That is so true. She's absolutely right. I think for me, at least in Japanese, where I know more characters, this happened at around 800, 900, close to 1,000. When you learn about 1,000 characters, then the second 1,000, it's a lot of this is a combination of this character I already know and this other character I already know. It happened around the 800 mark for me personally.
After you have the
look,
most frequently
there we go.
used 800 characters,
read that.
you'll come to a stage where you can deduce meaning from contexts
Exactly.
or make sense of new words based on the old ones you already know.
It's actually easier in Mandarin than it is in Japanese. Mandarin makes more logical sense when it comes to the reading of the characters, and it's a lot more consistent than Japanese.
Some people would argue English is much easier because there are only 26 letters. But that's not fair and it's not true. If I only know 26 letters, I wouldn't be considered to know English. I'll also have to know how the letters are arranged in each word, which also takes a lot of memorization. To give you an idea, as an English learner, you need about 7,000 words to take the International English Proficiency Test. 7,000 English words versus 800 characters.
Yeah, no, you're completely wrong. No, sorry, but apples and pears. Absolutely apples and pears. Like, I see, that's the problem sometimes that I have with videos that want to kind of shatter the misconceptions because they want to kind of make you feel good about, oh, it's not difficult and these are the reasons. Yeah, this fact is incorrect because once again, you're comparing things that shouldn't be put together. Mandarin as a writing system is objectively harder than English. Now, given, yes, English can be really annoying because, again, it is harder to read than, for instance, Italian or Spanish, because Italian and Spanish tend to be more coherent. And so once you have one sound, which is a vowel, and it's pronounced one way, generally speaking, there are exceptions, but generally speaking, they sound the way you know. Whereas in English, of course, you have the O, and it can sound like in the word so, which is a O, it can sound like O, like in pocket, like in glove, like in to. So, of course, yeah, all of this is annoying, but there is no... The way she's making it sound, it's as if a Mandarin is a piece of cake to read and write, but English, you gotta know these... Yeah, what? No, absolutely not. Sorry. Completely wrong.
Hard to say which one is harder. And when it comes to vocabulary, I'll have to say Chinese word formation is so logical.
That is true.
So much more logical than English. We just said Chinese
That's debatable.
use different parts to build characters. Actually, Chinese vocabulary works the same way. Only this time, we take different characters to build words. For example, breakfast is 早饭, morning meal. Lunch.
Yeah, but wait a second. You just said it's a lot more logical. English doesn't make sense. What the heck are they doing? Well, excuse me. Yes, 早饭. It's like morning meal or rice specifically, but it is meant to mean more broadly meal. But breakfast is literally you're breaking the fast. So you didn't eat for overnight because you were sleeping. That's a fast in English as a noun, not an adjective. And you're breaking it in the morning when you wake up. So you break their fast and you resume eating again. It is perfectly logical. I'm sorry. It is perfectly logical. It's like, this is not even pedantry. I mean, it is, but it's not. Come on. It's not just pedantry.
Lunch is 午饭, noon meal. And dinner is 晚饭.
And like, look at that one as well. You have brunch, which is the combination of breakfast and lunch. Yeah, English can be logical as well. Yeah, of course, the evening meal. Yeah.
You got it already. Evening meal. Makes sense, right? To give you another example, in English, 12 months are 12 different words. But in Chinese, you only need one word, 月, and combine them
Moon,
with numbers 1 to 12. And then you'll get 1月, 2月, 3月, 4月, 5月, 6月.
Arguably, to me, believe it or not, that makes it harder because I have to count it. I have to be like, wait, which one is the fourth month? Generally speaking, I know like 6th month of June. Okay, I get it. But sometimes it makes me count it. So to me, it's actually easier to learn the word. That could be subjective. Maybe to you, it's like, oh no, I freaking love it. What's the 7th month? Maybe you're really good at that. You're really good. I know, so 2nd month is February. Right, but you have to do it while you're speaking another language. So to me, personally, because they do the same with days of the week, it's just numbers. At that point, I actually prefer Japanese because I like that it was like Wednesday is the day of water and Tuesday is the day of fire. And to me, it worked because it created a mental correlation. And likewise, in English, the days of the week are the Norse gods, plus the last two being connected to Roman mythology. So, like, Thursday is the day of Thor. And then Wednesday is the day of Wedden, which is the Anglo-Saxon version or pronunciation of Warden, which is Odin. And I know a lot of people don't know this. I get it. But then again, once you do know it, it surprisingly makes it easier to remember. Saturday is from Saturnus, for Saturnus dies, the day of Saturn, Saturnus dies, for the Romans. And then Sunday, I mean, it's very easy to remember. In fact, for Sunday, they do say the day of the sun. in Chinese as well, and in Japanese.
And so on. It just makes so much sense and so easy. As an English learner, sometimes I'm really jealous of you. Fact number 5, Chinese pronouns are super simple. In English, there are 8 different pronouns. I, you, he, she, it,
Oh no, there's a lot more than that.
we, you plural, and they. And when put in
There used to be a thou, but it's gone now.
different positions, the pronouns need to change accordingly. For example, in object position, we have me, you, him, her. And to show possession, we have my, your, his, her, or mine, yours, his, hers.
Yes.
I remember having to memorize this big chart in middle school.
That was the mistake. That was the mistake. Spot it. Spot it. That was a mistake. Not her mistake, but the mistake of school. Charts are useless. Charts are not to be used to learn something, because when you give someone a chart like this and you read it, mine, yours, his, hers, it's, ours, yours, theirs, your, I, my, yeah, not right. If you do that, you're not going to remember anything. Charts are for reviewing. Charts are for reviewing. So after you've learned it in another way, which is usually putting it in a sentence and speaking, then if you really for a moment you're having a blackout in your memory, you're like, which one was it mine or was it mime? And then you go and look it up in the charts. That's what charts are supposed to be used to. But teachers in school are imbeciles, and they give you charts and tell you memorize. So anyways, now what she's going to say is she's going to say, no, in Mandarin it's easy. It's just wo, ni, ta, and all that. Right. But this is, once again, anecdotal, because I could do the same with Italian. Italian is simpler than English when it comes to these, because lui remains lui for he, whether it be as an objective or whether it be as a pronoun, it doesn't matter. But then again, Italian is objectively harder when it comes to grammar because of all the conjugation and masculine and feminine gendered language and all that. So just because you can find these little spots where in this instance, yes, it is easier. In general, I would say grammar, it is easier, but thought process is not simple and constructions are not simple in Mandarin. But the grammar in general, I would say it is simpler. But then again, tones and characters do make the language a lot harder than it is to learn English, and that is a fact. Anyways, I don't want to watch the whole video. Watched about half of it. It's nice. I'm not necessarily, I am bashing a little bit, but I'm not doing it out of malice. But the one about the 7,000 versus that one annoyed me. But anyways, I'm sure she's a great teacher, and I know why she's doing this. She's doing this because she wants to motivate you. But motivational speeches, sometimes they get a little extreme. So anyways, maybe you loved it, and if you did, go subscribe. Check her out. I will check out the rest of her content. Maybe we should judge what she does with more recent videos. With that being said, 谢谢. Bye.